Righteousness Exalted a Nation by Amos Burb. August 20th, 1938. Righteousness exalted a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Proverbs 14:34. By righteousness in this article means general moral integrity, the sum of such private and social virtue as truth, purity, honesty, and brotherly love. In what ways does such righteousness exalt a nation? It promotes its material prosperity. Such prosperity grows out of a complex combination of conditions such as rich resources and a vigorous race of intelligent people. But the main root of such prosperity is moral integrity. The simple process of production or exchange rests upon the honesty and those engaged in it. The relation of employee and employer, or of seller and buyer, is vitiated and may be wrecked if one or the other party in any degree lies or cheats. Men trust one another at 1,000 points in these relations, and if such trust were weakened or rendered impossible, our whole industrial system would go to pieces. The first and greatest word in business is not capital and labor, or profits and wages, but truth. That trust which is the common ground on which all men can stand and do business together. It is such truth that makes our banks safe, that guarantees every contract and assures the workman of his wages. The slight impairment of this trust makes capital hesitate, and a deep shock to it precipitates a panic. But when this trust is universal and strong, business grows rapidly and even larger wealth is produced. A second way in which righteousness exalteth a nation is in promoting its social solidarity. One of the greatest dangers that can befall any country is for its people to become separated and crystallized into social classes. We see the local outcome of this system in the caste of India that separates society into horizontal layers that are each impervious to the other. Two of the deadliest of these class divisions are the rich and the poor. Get all the rich people into one class and all the poor people into another, and then get these two classes to hating each other, and that country is ready to blow up in a terrible explosion like the French Revolution. The welfare of a country depends on the nobility of its people, moving freely among themselves like the drops of water in the ocean, in which the lowest drop can rise and float and flash on the crest of the topmost wave. We have largely been saved from class division due to our complex origin and our democratic ideals and development. But such democratic ideals rest at the bottom on moral principles, especially on the worth of men and brotherhood of men. Righteousness asserts and practices these principles. It declares and defends the equal rights of all men before the law, and strives to give each one free and full opportunities. It puts up the bars against class privileges and strives to keep the field of life open to all. Especially it does seek to maintain relations of sympathy and brotherhood among all classes and knit them into unity. We have succeeded in an unusual degree in maintaining this social solidarity, yet there are some unwelcome signs of social divisions. The rich are withdrawing themselves into their own society and flaunting their wealth, and the laboring class show signs of class consciousness. We need to guard against the development of such division crystallizations by insisting on the righteousness that gives to every man justice and emphasized our common brotherhood. Only in such unity can we strengthen and endure. United we stand, divided we fall. Righteousness exalts a nation by promoting the higher life of the Spirit. The body acts upon us with the persistent power of gravitation to drag us down into the life of flesh. Wealth is often a weight added to this gravitation, so that the richer an individual becomes, the more sudden and deeper may be his fall into vice. The same danger besets a nation, and history is full of warning. Rome poor ruled the world, but Rome rich grew corrupt and fell. The main standard that measures a nation is not its resources or wealth or material greatness, but the character of its people. Character is that diamond that scratches every stone, the mark and measure of all worth. Righteousness produces character of the highest type. It puts the emphasis on the moral and spiritual side of life and uses all things only as soil to grow this finest blossom and fruit. It asserts the fundamental and eternal worth of a man independently of his circumstances and makes his worth consistent in his soul and spirit. All righteousness, while it may begin as mere moral integrity, yet cannot confine itself to this world, but overleaps the horizon into the eternities. It thus links man with God and makes him live a divine life, doing all earthly things in celestial ways. Such a principle exalts a nation above the level of this world and clothes with some of the greatest of God. Such a nation will stand the stress and the storm of such eternal troubles as befall every people. And such a nation will be as strong abroad as it is at home. International influence is measured in some degree by wealth and warships, but in a great degree by the righteousness that makes a nation in all ways. The place we need to put intenser emphasis in this country is not on bigger warships or on greater wealth, but on increased righteousness. Righteousness in public life. Righteousness in business. Righteousness in the righteousness in private character. Only such is true patriotism and will exalt us as a nation. Righteousness must begin with a single unit from the individual to the group. And one of the greatest and most dynamic in its a righteous nation is a righteous home. So may God help you all to start the day righteously, doing right all the day through.